She's waiting like a carry on there. She's like trying to keep a smile on it.
She's all right.
We are streaming now.
Chris, are we on?
Hey,
Tell him to stay here and make sure it
He's
stays
saying,
on.
Chris is saying no.
we could be
Make what?
Okay.
going out, but not in 25.
Okay. Is it on now?
Hey, Joe, Tracy called me and said yesterday, he said, what, my daughter and wife called, and will they stay at St. Augustine? I said, we're going, first week of July. I said, you what? He said, yeah, we're going. You're crazy.
Is it working then?
Yes, we're ready.
Somebody said that if you
So you want to go to the pledge, or how you want to do
probably need to start all over. Though.
it? It doesn't, whatever you want to do.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Donna, would you lead us in the invocation?
Dear Heavenly Father, once again we come to you just thanking you for this day and thanking you for the many blessings that you give us in life. And Father, I pray for this nation, and pray for our country, and Father, I pray for the students of Metcalfe County, and I pray for this board. I pray that we make the right decisions for the students of Metcalfe County. In Jesus' holy name we pray. Amen.
Go ahead and say the pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Dr. Lyle.
First off, for those of you that tuned in right at 6 o'clock, we apologize, as has been happening with the use of technology, that we're having to do so much. We had a little problem, but hopefully everything we've got working now. We have a very special guest with us that is appearing from Frankfort. Miss Carrie Schilling is with us. She's the Executive Director of the Kentucky School Board Association. And Robin, if I could borrow your Kentucky Advocate, we're fortunate to be featured in the Advocate this month and a winner of a very prestigious award. And I am going to turn this over now to Miss Schilling so she can tell us more about the good things that have happened with Metcalfe County Schools. So share, it's yours.
Thank you, Dr. Lyle and members of the Metcalfe County Board. I appreciate you allowing me to join you virtually this evening. And on behalf of KSBA President Ronnie Holmes, our Board of Directors, our staff, and our membership, comprised of Kentucky's 862 locally elected school board members, it is my distinct honor to present Metcalfe County Schools and its Old School Cafe with one of our association's highest honors, the Spring 2020 Peak Award. PEAK stands for Public Education Achieves in Kentucky. We use the imagery of a mountain peak for our award because it represents excellence at the highest level. Excellence that is achieved only after thoughtful planning, hard work, power of will, and proven results. KSBA established the PEAK Award in 1997 as a way of focusing statewide attention on outstanding public school programs that enhance student learning skills, and in doing so, promote the positive impact of public elementary and secondary education in our Commonwealth. We present this award to deserving programs twice a year, and this is the 51st time we've presented it. But it's the first time we've done so by video conference. Now, admittedly, the very mention of donuts in your proposal got the judge's attention. The competition for this award is quite stiff, so fresh baked goodies is a fantastic way to differentiate yourself. But in all seriousness, it is the story behind the donuts that was inspiring. Your Old School Cafe takes such a holistic approach to real-world education. You've identified a significant need in the community, you've enabled students to meet that need, and you've empowered them with work-ready skills that will follow them the rest of their lives. The application of science, math, communications, art, entrepreneurship, the building of confidence, the appreciation of a process, the value of teamwork, the pride of craftsmanship, the taste of accomplishment, both figuratively and literally. All that and students are earning a paycheck. The fact that students wake up at 3 a.m. excited to be a part of this is a testament to everything that you're doing right. What you've built at Metcalfe County Schools is a model of sustainability, and it is something the entire community can be and clearly is proud of. And if there was ever a time for schools to think more sustainably and to think more creatively, that time is now. There is so much that public schools in Kentucky can learn from this program. KSBA doesn't just give out a pretty award and move on either. Our Peak Award is designed to elevate programs like yours so that others will see it, learn from it, borrow from it, and become better for it. As a matter of fact, it's KSBA tradition to invite our Peak Award winners to present a session at our annual conference each February, and we certainly hope representatives of Metcalfe County will join us in 2021. The Old School Cafe is also featured, as you mentioned, in this month's Kentucky School Advocate magazine, which is our monthly association publication. What's important about that is that your story is now in the hands of every single Kentucky school board member and every single superintendent in the state, along with many other subscribers. It is my hope that as our state safely and gradually reopens in the months ahead, that President Holmes and I will have the opportunity to visit the district in person to formally present the award that currently sits behind me. And as a side note, since donuts happen to be my favorite food on the planet, I'd love to taste some of your students' handiwork. Again, congratulations on being selected as KSBA's Spring 2020 Peak Award winner. We could not be happier for Metcalfe County Schools and the Old School Cafe. Thank you again for allowing me to join you tonight.
Carrie, I'm moving down a little bit closer, so I know you were having difficulty hearing me from there. But thank you for your efforts, because I know this has been a challenge for you to put this together, and you're putting in extra hours for this. I think, if I understand correctly, Matt McCarty is listening in somewhere. I want to thank Matt publicly for his efforts. I think he authored the piece and did a lot of work, and we do look forward to you all getting to come. Of course, Mr. Hurt will be sitting at the table at that time, but I've already told him that when you all work it out, I'll certainly do my best to come back that night, and you can be sure you will have some donuts and cinnamon rolls, and I'll bet they'll even have enough for you to take back to your entire office.
I'm going to bring my Ziploc bags.
All right. Thank you again so much. I know the group will look forward to being at the conference in February. Hopefully things back to normal. I'm sure there will be a presentation. And the KSB, I believe, you may have mentioned this, 51 of these have been awarded. So
that is correct.
Very proud of Metcalfe County and the students, Ms. Donna Jesse. And I might let you know, we're actually opening back up in the morning, doing curbside service beginning in the morning. So Ms. Donna and a couple of, one now former student and another student will be at 6 o'clock in the morning serving donuts.
You'll make a lot of Metcalfe County people happy.
All right. Thank you again so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
That is, I know board members, if you all have been at the annual conference yearly and have seen these people that get this, this is quite the honor. So that is, and there's Matt right there. he was present. So we're so proud of that, and that award will forevermore remain here at the board office, recognizing those accomplishments. Mr. Chair, I'm ready to move on with other reports, if that's okay.
That'll be fine.
You know, it hit my mind this afternoon, in today's the last day of school. And right about 3:30, it kind of dawned on me that the buses normally would be making their last stops and going through all that. And it's all but just been a surreal time. At our May meeting, we normally recognize our Campbellsville Teachers of the Year. Had this been a normal year, this past Saturday, I would have been at Campbellsville, and our principals would have been there honoring those people. But I know, Ms. Chair, you've got those plaques here, and we'll make sure that they get those. But Miss Lindsay Thomas from the elementary, Miss Leanne Parnell from the middle school, and Karen Linkus from our high school would have been they are the award recipients, but they would have been with us tonight. So we acknowledge that, and we're so proud of them. I did mention school ended today. At our last board meeting, I talked about our teachers and our staff and our community and how proud we are of all that work that they've done. We continue delivering food. We prepped out, Chris, 1,400 bags of food went out today. We've been doing that every week, and absolutely can't say enough about that. I know, Robin, you'd asked me a little earlier about the graduation plans, and I know every school district is dealing with that, but Mr. Graham and Ms. Harbison, Ms. Morgan have just done just fantastic work of all that. I know you've seen the pictures up on the 4-lane, and Chris and the maintenance crew guys helped with that. The city helped to sponsor that. We appreciate the efforts of the mayor and the city council that they did. But we're going to be doing a virtual baccalaureate. We'll be doing a virtual graduation. And then we have in December a time set aside that we certainly hope can be a full-blown traditional graduation and do it like normal. Questions about that or thoughts? I know you all followed the news. Everybody's been trying to sort this out and try to do what's right for our students. But again, I just really appreciate Mr. Graham and his efforts. Any questions or anything on that we've had? Okay. We'll run down through some of our items. We're looking at on 5A and 5B, the BG 4 and 5, which are the closeout documents. And Chris, I'm looking to you if anything needs to be added on those. But we're looking at the closeout documents for our high school. If I understand what Flap has told me, we still have some load balancing issues to go through, but they really need a full school of people there to make sure they get it balanced right. Now, obviously, we don't know when that's going to be, but if I understood correctly, the firms have agreed to come back and do that. Correct, Chris? Yeah. Okay, thank you. 5C is an addendum to the 1920 Certified and Classified Evaluation Plan. As you know, we got called out of school in mid-March, and evaluations didn't technically have to be finished until April, so some of our principals kind of got caught midstream. This is some legal documentation that was provided to us by the board attorney, and most everybody in the state is doing this. This was also some legislative action and some action from KDE, and I'm looking at Ms. Howard in case I say anything wrong. But this just gives a little bit of latitude to our principals as they work through the evaluation process, and they're all very well versed in that. 5D is their insurance renewals, and we're up a little bit. I think it's right at about $14,000 that our insurance is up. We had some additions to that in addition to just normal inflation and some slight increases, but I know we had a vehicle or two that we added to that, caused the increase to be up a little bit. 5E is your indirect cost, which is yearly report that we get from KDE that we have to approve. Our 2021 salary schedule is basically the step and the rank, what we do in years when there's not a increase per se. People who don't meet the step and ranks get a 0.5%. That's kind of what the average comes out to be. We also have, and we've looked at this, I know we've discussed in past years, it's my understanding it's been 10 plus years since we've done anything with coaches and some of our extracurricular salaries. So Matt Shirley actually came to me last year, and I charged Matt with putting together a proposed schedule for me to do that. Matt worked diligently throughout the year. He'd actually given me this, and I know I'd had some conversation with Joey about it back in January, I believe, is when we did that. And of course, the world changed on March 13th. So what we're doing is asking to do half of that this year. So it's a modest increase for our coaches, and we're going to ask to approve half this year. And then if things work, I would encourage you to look at that. Mr. Hurd has been involved in this the past couple of weeks, so he's in full knowledge, full agreement of what we're doing here. We wish we could have done the entire amount, but given circumstances we thought it was wise to just do half of that this year. 2019-20 audit contract has not changed. The bond renewal, bond depository, those haven't changed. Direct membership is our yearly membership, and I think included in this, Donna, should be our grant participation as well, which has been very beneficial to us. And then, of course, financial report and the tentative budget, which just continues to be a rollover budget of what we have. So questions or on any of those items we might have. I've also given you, just as part of my report, no action tonight, tentative board meeting dates for the remainder of the year beginning in July. And we were talking a little bit earlier, again, with the uncertainty of school and what's going to happen. Who knows what will happen with those board dates, but we'll have to adopt those in June. So just take that over the next month and look and be considered. And while I mentioned the opening of school, you may be reading quite a bit. We had a webinar with the commissioner this afternoon. A lot of talk, and I think it stirred some where it come out of the governor's office and out of KDE that perhaps we might consider an early start calendar, and some people had even tossed out some July 15th, July 20 dates and this and that. Interim Commissioner Brown was very clear today when he said that we would not be required to do any of that. They're just trying to give us things to think about, and I understand that. I'm totally clear. As of today, in our conversations here with the leadership in this office and with our principals, we feel good about our August 31st start date for our students, but we'll be monitoring that, just as I know you all are as well, on a regular basis. But if you hear about that and you got questions, just let us know. But as of right now, what that will look like in August is I give anybody's guess. But I know we've already got working with principals. We've already had teachers emailing us with thoughts and ideas if we can't start a normal school year of what that might look like. So we appreciate that and appreciate the thoughts and effort that they're already putting into that. So unless you all have questions or any directors have anything to add, that's our report.
Okay. Any questions? All right, we'll start with the consent items. Is there a motion to approve the consent items?
Motion to approve.
A motion's been made by John. Are there any questions? Well, I better get a second.
Second.
Second by Tim. Are there any questions? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, motion passes 5-0. Action item 5A, consider the BG4 on the MCHS HVAC and lighting project.
Motion to approve.
A motion by Robin. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Donnie. Are there any questions? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, motion passes 5-0. 5B, consider the BG5 on the MCHS HVAC and lighting project.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Donnie. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Tim. Are there any questions? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, motion passes 5-0. Consider the addendum to 2019-20 Certified and Classified Evaluation Plan.
Motion to approve.
Motion by John. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Robin. Are there any questions? All,
Let me clarify one thing, and I'm looking at Ms. Howard just to make sure. That applies only to this school year.
Yes.
So that's much like some of the other things that have obviously occurred because of a national emergency. So what you're approving here is only for this school year. Yeah.
any other questions, comments? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, motion passes 5-0. Action item 5D, consider 2020-21 insurance renewal. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Donnie. Are there any questions? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, motion passes 5-0. Consider the 2020-21 indirect cost.
Motion to approve.
Motion by John. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Robin. Are there any questions? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion passes 5-0. Consider the 2020-21 salary schedule.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Robin. Are there any questions? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, motion passes 5-0. Consider 2019-20 audit contract.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Donnie, is there a second?
Second.
Second by John. Are there any questions? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, motion passes 5-0. Consider the Treasury's Fidelity Bond Renewal.
Motion to approve.
Treasurer. It should be the Treasurer's Fidelity Bond Renewal. A motion's been made by Robin. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Donnie. Are there any questions? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion passes 5-0. Consider the bond depository.
Motion approved.
Motion by Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Robin. Are there any questions? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, motion passes 5-0. Consider the GREC membership renewal for 2020-21. Motion to approve.
Motion approved.
Motion by Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Donnie. Are there any questions? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, motion passes 5-0. The May financial reports, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Robin, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Donnie, are there any questions? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, motion passes 5-0. The 2021 tentative budget, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Tim, is there a second?
Second.
Second by John, are there any questions? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, motion passes 5-0. The next board meeting will be Tuesday, June the 9th at 6 p.m. Is there any other board discussion? Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Tim, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Donnie, all in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Meeting adjourned.